whatever it takes, Florida State is determined to make the best decision for its future. Wow, welcome to episode 285 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Let's not waste any more time. War Chant did an unbelievable job. The interview with Peter Collins, the chair of the Board of Trustees at Florida State, it was the interview that was heard around the college football world, and On3 covered it in an article last night. We're going to be talking about it this morning. From Corey Clark, On3, War Chant, the Board of Trustees Chair Peter Collins, and Florida State's future. I feel really good about our prospects. We provide a link in the description. Read the whole article. Please put down your comments in the comments section below the video. During an exclusive one-on-one interview with warchant.com on Tuesday night, Florida State's Board of Trustees Chair Peter Collins made it quite clear the status quo won't work for the Seminoles. Collins, who was recently reelected, keep that in mind. Everybody knows where he stands on this issue when it comes to the board. Collins, who was recently reelected as Florida State's chair for an additional 2 years, didn't mince words when talking about the Seminoles' plight and trying to compete financially in the ACC when he talked on War Chant TV with Aya Scuffle and Tom Lane. This came on the eve of Wednesday afternoon's Florida State's Board of Trustees meeting, which is today, happening 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Florida State Board of Trustees is having a meeting. We'll talk about that later in the article. I think today, when you think about what we're going to be next year in the ACC and what the SEC and the Big Ten are relative to what we make, that gap is massive, said Collins, who then joked that he wasn't breaking any news with that statement. And when the gap gets that large, is it insurmountable? I think I said in our meeting in February that it's almost impossible to make up that gap. And I think the athletic director, Michael Alford, said it is impossible. And it's not wrong. Our boosters are doing an unbelievable job. Everybody's doing a great job of fundraising. But we're going to be $30 million, $35 or $40 million behind the other conferences. That's an insurmountable gap that you have to do something about. So what exactly can be done? When Collins was asked about his comments from earlier this year when he said the university had a very good handle on the grant of rights, that of course alludes to the ACC's media rights contract with ESPN, which is in effect until 2036. When I say we have a handle on the grant of rights, we understand the document very well, Collins said. We understand our position on that document. We understand the legal argument in that document. We understand who the parties would be under that document. And we believe we have a very good handle on what our risks are under that document and what our opportunities are under that document. That's the least of my worries based on what we know. We understand it. We have gotten a lot of counsel on that document. That will not be the document that keeps us from taking action. I'll leave it at that. And that, of course, is the PATC money shot in this article. I'm going to read this again. That's the least of my worries. He's talking about the grant of rights. Peter Collins is talking about the grant of rights. That's the least of my worries based on what we know. We understand it. We understand that document. We've gotten a lot of counsel on that document. That will not be the document that keeps us from taking action. I'll leave it at that. We'll get to that at the end of the article as well. What that action will be? Well, Collins wasn't saying on Tuesday night. That was last night. Time will tell. But he was adamant. The Board of Trustees, along with Florida State administration, are going to do everything in their power to make sure the athletic department is competitive nationally for the long haul. What they will do, whatever it takes to make sure Florida State remains one of the top revenue producing departments in football programs in the country. It's a critical decision, Collins said. And it's one of those decisions where you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to make a tough decision. Even if you don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, I think the leadership in the university is willing to make a tough decision and take whatever comes from it. What that is today, I'm not going to tell you. But we've done a lot of work, and I would say we've done a lot of work going back to July 2022. It sure sounds like they've made a decision, doesn't it? He's not going to tell us what it is, but he's not saying we haven't made a decision yet. He's saying, what is it today? I'm not going to tell you, but we've done a lot of work. Done a lot of work since July 2022. Collins said the impetus to do work wasn't necessarily when Oklahoma and Texas announced they would be moving to the Southeastern Conference. But when USC and UCLA announced that going to the Big Ten, that's when things sped up, he said. We've been getting the best advice we can for a year, Collins said, and we're going to make every educated decision. We're going to make a very educated decision. I can't tell you today what the decision is going to be, but I can tell you it will be made with the institution in mind. Collins was asked about the ACC's proposed uneven distribution model, which rewards teams for on-field success, and if that could factor into any decision at all. It doesn't sound like it would. Let's say it gives Florida State $6 million more a year, Collins said. Okay, now we're not losing $35 million, we're losing $29 million a year to our competitors. You could argue that's still insurmountable. We're not going to close the gap with unequal revenue distribution. And that's what we said at Peek Around the Corner through all those episodes. We said that is unequal revenue distribution doesn't solve the issues for Florida State, Miami of Florida, North Carolina, and Clemson. While Collins was dismissive of various internet reports about Florida State plans, he did say that the Seminoles have strong options before them and that he feels great about the future. I feel really good about our prospects, Collins said, especially knowing how hard people are working on it. I can tell you I feel very good about where we're going to be. And we're working every single day, making sure that it becomes a reality. I'm going to repeat that. I can tell you I feel very good about where we're going to be. And we're working every single day, making sure that becomes a reality. And finally, Collins said he wouldn't be surprised if Florida State's athletic future is discussed at today's trustees meeting. But he said there's no plan for action to be taken. Wow. So today's meeting, 3 o'clock Eastern Time at the Board of Trustees at Florida State University. Don't expect there to be an official action taking place, but they're going to talk about it. No question about it. They're going to talk about it at the Board of Trustees meeting. And then you got to keep your head on a swivel, PATC community. You got to keep your head on a swivel for more meetings to pop up at the Florida State Board of Trustees. And we're going to be talking about it every time a new posting, a new meeting pops up. We're going to dig into it. We're going to watch it. We're going to read the agenda. We're going to discuss about it. What do you all think? Now look, 5 days ago at Peek Around the Corner, we had a live show. We put up Act 1 at the Holy Smokes Theater. We have Florida State on the edge of the stage with Mike Alford, the Seminole, and the man in the mask up at the balcony. Last night we found out that the man with the mask, he tore that mask off, and it was Peter Collins. Peter Collins, and he's about to give direction for Florida State to stand at the center of the stage here in Act 1 inside the Holy Smoke Theater, the play called ACC Drama. It is happening. It has begun. We're now finally done with the beginning of the story, and now we're going to get into the meat of the story. Florida State going to make a critical decision, a difficult decision. They're not scared about the grant of rights document. There's some other document out there that might be giving them some trepidation about taking this action. Is it possible? Is it possible that Florida State is going to give a notice of withdrawal to the ACC and to all the ACC presidents before August 15th of this year so they can play for a different conference, the SEC, the Big Ten, for July for 2024 to become a new member of that conference July 1st of 2024. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Go listen to the interview with Peter Collins with War Chant last night. Read this article all over again. Man, unbelievable. Unbelievable. This timeline has been sped up. Florida State, they're going to upend. They're going to flip the table. They're going to rip up the script that they've been playing on. ACC, grantor rights, they don't believe it's an issue. Is this thing going to the courts? Is there going to be a settlement? Or is ESPN, Fox, Big 10, Big 12, are everybody getting in and coordinating, moving some pieces? Is this story even bigger than we think it is right now in August 2nd? Stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner. We're going to be following this story every single day. And the Pac-12 saga, college football season about to start, 4 weeks away. Holy smokes. Wow. Until next time, from all of us at PATC, to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.